Hey, my name is Giusi. Welcome to my channel. I'm an intuitive healer and holistic practitioner. I talk about things that have to do with spiritual awakening, healing from narcissistic abuse, our subconscious programming, as well as autism. So welcome if you're new here. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. Today I'm going to talk about something that's it's really important um, in regards to healing, but also it's very important in regards to creating change and healing as a collective, etc. And this is the topic is about sharing our stories, which is very interesting because autistic people are known for oversharing all the time, and we love to share our story and our experiences and things like that, and we generally are pretty good at it. So what do I mean when I say share our stories? If you take a look at the world, like even the fact that autistic people overshare, they're kind of like implying that it's not necessarily a favorable thing when people are just dumping all their stuff to other people. Now, yes, we don't want to overshare with strangers, mostly for our safety, because you don't know who you're talking to and the people can't use that information against you, etc. So there are certain things that should remain private, that you should keep to yourself, and that you should only share with people who are trusted individuals, etc., maybe within your inner circle. So always keep that in mind. Even if you have like a channel like this, I obviously am not going to share anything that is private on my channel, and it's for your safety. So that's something entirely different. But when you talk about your experiences and things that you've went through, the reason that it's important to share that is because when we share our experiences, other people can see their experiences in your own. They can relate to your story. They can see that they're not alone in their experience, that they're not an idiot because they went through something and maybe other people have gone through the same thing. And we see it all the time in places like Reddit and other places where people come together and to have discussions and conversations around certain things. So the reason this is important is because it builds community, number one, when people come together to discuss or listen. It also, like I said, makes you not feel so vulnerable and alone, which is very important especially in today's climate, very, very important. And it also allows this beautiful thing to occur where we begin to create, our empathy and compassion grows for one another when we can relate to one another and understand their story and where they're coming from. And so it seems that this is very much discouraged in our society, people sharing. If you look, like, a lot of people don't share their things, their feelings, their hardships and things like that. And this is maybe why a lot of autistic people have a hard time with like small talk, especially when we're able to sense, when we have heightened sensory things, when we have maybe our clairs. A lot of autistic people are, have their clairs that are really strong. And so we're able to feel when we talk to someone that there's like all this stuff going on. However, they don't share that, and they're just like, oh yeah, they're talking about surface stuff. And we know that it's just like kind of like it's like fake surface stuff. And so it's confusing to us. But the real question is, why is everybody locked in this like kind of paradigm of operating that way, of just sharing those surface things, like about sharing about their daily tasks and not sharing the depths of themselves? Like, is it that they just don't have those depths and they can't reach those depths and that it's not available to them, they're unable to access it? Or is it because they've been programmed to do that? This is a very like interesting concept that I've always like kind of thought about in my head. Is it just that they're not capable of doing that, or are they just blocked off from it? Right? This is something that we want to really discuss, because when we're blocked off to that and we're not able to reach those depths within us, then we can't connect with other people. We can't reach those depths with other people. We can't feel that same type of empathy and compassion for other people, because in the depths of those emotions is where we have like that true strong empathy and understanding and compassion for other people. I truly believe that. And so that's why you see people who have really experienced a lot of pain and who have done like really, strong inner healing work and have reached, like, have met themselves in those shadow parts, have the ability to really hold space for others in like this tremendous kind of way. And so they're also the people that seem to have the most amount of empathy and compassion for other people. And so it begs the question, are people who are locked on only surface levels and incapable of going to the depths, are they incapable of having empathy, that type of empathy for other people, that type of understanding? And so we see now that there's like this, everyone is kind of like, it's always like this against that and this against that and this against that, and there's always like things, and most of it is unfortunately very highly manipulated to keep people divided and at each other's throats. I think that we can all agree on that one. It's not to say that there's never going to be differences of opinions and sides and things like that, but it's always like more what's the word I'm looking for? It's always going to be more heightened due to specific people who are kind of intervening and causing things to be more in an unrest, upheaval, because it really benefits them at the end of the day when we're at each other's throats, because it creates a division, it creates disconnect, it creates all of that stuff. So when we share our stories and we start to get on these platforms and talk to one another and share, then we can start to find similarities in one another. Even if we're different, we will still have similarities with one another. We can connect with one another. We can create camaraderie, and those things are very beneficial to creating connection, because the goal here is to create connection, to create that union. And so how we do that is by being vulnerable and sharing those parts of ourselves to people. So here we have this, like, I guess, this idea that oversharing is bad, you shouldn't do that, it's shameful. But why is that? Why is it shameful to share your experiences? Well, because we want to all be closed off in our little boxes and detached, and me and you are not together. We're separate. But are we separate? We're not supposed to be separate. We're supposed to be all, together. We're supposed to be in this one collective consciousness, which seems to be in this upheaval right now, multiple ways. And so this is why I'm always like someone who promotes like sharing your story. Like, all people who've gone through things, share your story, because you have no idea how many other people are listening to your voice. If you're someone who's like kind of been wondering, like, should I share my story? Whether you write, you draw, you sing, you record videos on here or on other platforms, share your stories. You have no idea how much healing and power is in that, in sharing your story, whether it's with your friends. Find people that you feel safe to do that with, whether it's like on a blog or in a community, like a web forum or something. Like, find the avenues that fit for you to share your story. There is so much power and healing in that. And so I will always advocate. I've been sharing my story for a long time, and I will continue to do so as long as I can. And I want to just say that when we use our voice to share our story, it doesn't only heal us, it heals our collective consciousness. It heals our, our ancestral lines and things like that. And it just continuously adds to that. And it creates a community and connection in real time here on this timeline, on this present, moment, whatever you want to refer it as. So that's it. That's my story today. This is going to be my shorter video, because I just wanted to talk about how what sharing does to us, for us, and why it's important to do that. So if people are going to put this in a negative light, you got to wonder why that is. Why do they want to discourage you from sharing, from being vulnerable and connecting with one another? Why is that? Because there's really only something like positive that can come out of that. There isn't anything negative that's going to come out of that, because me sharing isn't like something bad against me. Like, I don't really care what people think about me. But in sharing, I've been able to help multiple people when I talk about my experiences who have experienced that, and they can see themselves in that story. And so they feel seen, they feel heard, they feel like they are validated, and like there's space being held for them. You know what I mean? And that is truly healing, that is truly connecting, and that is something that is incredibly powerful. And so whatever you do, keep sharing. I don't want you to feel like embarrassed when you are oversharing and sharing your stories with people, because there are people who are going to benefit from that along the line, along the path of your life. When you share your story, there will be people that will benefit from your stories. I promise you that. So this is your sign today to not feel discouraged. If you felt like kind of called to find ways to share your story or to connect with other people in that way, then do that. Find ways to do that. Never stop sharing your voice. Never stop trying to kind of bring your perspective to it. It doesn't matter how different we are. Your perspective really does matter. And I want everyone to have a seat at this table. Everyone deserves a seat at the table. Okay, so that's my story today. I hope you're having a beautiful day and taking care of yourself. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Take care. Bye.